With that, we'll go on to the water system.
Good morning, Chairwoman, Commissioners, and County Manager. The Water System recommends that the Board of Commissioners approve our proposed schedule of rates, charges, and fees that includes about a 2.5% increase in water rates and a 3.5% increase in sewer and wastewater rates to become effective April 1st, 2025, and annual 3.5% increases in both water and wastewater commodity charges and the wholesale government wastewater rate for 2026 through 2029 to be effective January 1st of each year. These increases are needed due to increases in operating costs, such as our wholesale cost for water, and due to increasing construction costs with several large wastewater treatment projects planned over the next 6 years.
All right, thank you. Commissioners, I move that we approve this agenda item.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Commissioner Burrow.
Yes. While I understand the Cobb Marietta Water Authority is increasing their rates on us, I cannot support this and as long as the water transfer is still being done.
Understandable. Are there any other comments or questions? Commissioner Gambrill. Commissioner Gambrill, please.
Judy, could you just explain, because people are asking why we're doing a 5-year, I think we did 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why we're doing a 5-year, and I've been explaining to them that correlates with the 5-year rate increase that we've had with the Marietta Water Authority. So could you just explain that a little bit for public information?
Sure. So one thing is, when we look at our cost of services, our rates, and we're also looking at the projects we have planned, we try to look at least 5 years out, usually even more. Our financial plan goes out many years. So having a planned rate increase helps us plan for the future better. It helps us, our customers plan better. But most importantly, our wholesale customers, so we provide wholesale wastewater service to Marietta, Smyrna, Austell, and some other surrounding counties. And when we raise our rates, they usually have to raise their rates, just like when the Water Authority raises their rates, we have to raise our rates. So having a 5-year plan helps our wholesale customers plan as well.
Okay.
But for further clarity, again, part of the increases we're showing here is because Marietta has increased the rates to Cobb County.
The Water Authority, yes.
The Water Authority,
Yes.
yes. Thank you.
All right. Commissioner Sheffield.
I just wanted to go back to the water transfer and the reduction. I know that we've reduced it over the years. Can you share the schedule of reduction? I think we started at 6 maybe when I started, and we reduced it each year by 1%. Can you share?
Tell you.
Go ahead, Judy.
It was at 10%, and it's been reduced 1% each year, so currently we're at 5%.
Okay.
And so it will be up to the board with each budget cycle to decide whether or not to continue that 1% reduction until it's eliminated.
And we've been consistently reducing it?
Yes.
Correct, okay.
Well,
Not entirely.
not entirely, but I can share the schedule with you.
Yeah.
But it was on a plan, a 5-year plan to reduce it incrementally from 10 to 5. And in 2016, when we rolled back the millage to match the increase in the digest, it went back up to 10% with the 2017 budget. And then the next year, we started reducing it again in 2018. And it went down 3%, and then it was supposed to go back down 1% each year. When Chairman Boyce was here, we started it again in his budget. And then when Chairwoman Cupid took over in 2021, it was at 8%, and we kept it at 8% 1 year, and each year since then, we have reduced it by 1%. So for the 25 budget, it went from 6 to 5%.
Right.
But it can go, the maximum it can be is 10.
Right.
So we are incrementally reducing.
Right, and that's the point that I wanted to make, that we are, even though the general public may see an increase here, which is being kind of handed down from the Marietta Water Authority, we are making an effort as a board to decrease that.
Right.
Okay.
But when the water transfer was 10%, we absorbed a lot of the Cobb Marietta Water Authority increases. Because I remember when Steve McCullers was here, before we started the increases, we were absorbing a lot of that. We were absorbing a lot of their for 5 years. We were absorbing a lot of that and not passing it on to the residents. But now with the water transfer being reduced, you know, we're still getting those increases.
Yes, so in the past, we were able to absorb some of those rate increases because we had reserves, and we burned down those reserves, so we don't have the reserves that we had at one time.
Okay.
So I
Commissioner,
appreciate the budget,
Mike, please.
you know, staying on track to reduce it 1% a year, but until it's gone completely, I have to be consistent.
Commissioner Richardson.
Thank you. And just for clarity, once we get down to that 2% to 1%, there are some other legal components to that reduction as well for the water transfer. I remember you were saying that's tied up into some of the city contracts, and so it gets more complicated as we get lower and lower, correct? Or not?
The complication with that is trying to use that reduction for stormwater.
Understood, okay, understood. That's where it gets complicated, okay. Because those are tied up in how they're actually paying us for those services, so, okay, thank you.
Okay. This is one of the most proactive measures I've seen us take with respect to water. A lot of times it's very difficult to make these decisions, and we end up having to do a significant increase because we keep delaying it. So at least putting it out there publicly helps us to prorate the impact to our citizens, and I hope that there will be majority support for this agenda item. So with that, we have a motion and a second. I'll call the question. The motion carries 4-1 with Commissioner Brohl in opposition.